If you know yourself that you're not South African, please stand up. Please stand up. Please don't try and stand up right now. Stand up. Sister, are you South African? Are you South African? Because we are going to check everybody. Check them. Please, if you're not South African, come with me. Come. Come with me. Come. You guys are not South African. Go out. You can go to Unjani, block P there, or Opotilo Hospital. Go. Hey, pass. Because Zimbabwe, you run past and go to the border here. Hurry. You madam South African? If you know yourself what you do to South Africa, please stand up. If you know yourself that you're not South African, please be along with Kuto. All these nurses and doctors, they are here for South Africans. Get up South Africa. Please stand up. Don't try us. What's that? You run past the border again. From a foreigner again.
South Africans, how do you feel chasing women away from the hospital? As a man, I feel ashamed seeing a man do that. As a man, I feel ashamed. You know that these are vulnerable women. They are vulnerable, no matter whichever way you look at it. If the government did not enforce these rules, and then individually you decide to start enforcing it, that is taking law into your hands. In a democratic environment, protest is legal, but taking the laws into your hands is illegal. How do you feel acting like a king and chasing pregnant women away from the hospital just because you feel they are foreigners? Africans, we have to be better than this. We need to do better than this. I feel disappointed. I feel ashamed that this is happening in our beautiful continent. I feel ashamed that we have resorted into doing this to ourselves just because we feel we are in a position to do that. Just because we feel that we are in a better position so we can exercise our little right, even if it means chasing away pregnant women from receiving treatment in the hospital. I am very disappointed and I feel ashamed seeing this. South Africans, I urge you and I beg you all, please let us trade with caution. Let's trade with caution. And I beg the learned South Africans, the educated South Africans, those in government, you need to let some information out. You need to let your fellow citizens know the rules of engagement by the South African government. Let the citizens know where the boundary is, what should be and what should not be done. These Zimbabweans that you are chasing out, let me tell you something. More than 120 South African companies are in Zimbabwe. Do you know that just one of those companies in Zimbabwe, in 2023, one of those companies in Zimbabwe paid $3.2 million in tax remittance to the South African government. That was in 2023. In 2024, that same company paid around $2.8 to $2.9 million in tax remittance, just one of 120 companies. Do you know how the citizens get these benefits that you guys get in South Africa from the government? These benefits, these grants that you get, free food, accommodation, subsidizing and everything. This benefit that you get as a South African citizens, do you know how you get it? It is from this externally generated revenue. That is how the government are able to cater for their citizens in this direction. The grants that you see, the housing subsidies, this benefit, free healthcare that you get are from this externally generated revenue. One of those 120 companies in Zimbabwe, just one, remits $3.2 million per annum. So imagine what all the companies remit to the government of South Africa from Zimbabwe. That is how you will get these benefits. So imagine if you push Zimbabweans to the wall and they turn against all those companies and they start burning them down. Remember, during the early days before the Libyan crisis, they were warned by African scholars, but they never listened. Today, in Libya, if you fall sick, you must deposit at least $1,000 before they commence treatment. But before, they were getting it for free. These Zimbabweans that you are chasing away their women, they are chasing away they are pregnant women. The taxes they pay, your companies in their country pays. That is how this hospital is funded. Let's go to Nigeria. As of today, as we speak, there are around 120 to 125 registered South African companies operating in Nigerian soil. Some are subsidiaries, some are not. And I'll tell you this, I'll just talk about 2 or 3 of those companies. One of that companies in 2024 paid $125 million in tax remittance to the South African government. Just one of those companies. The second one of that company pays around 98 million US dollars in tax remittance to the South African government. I don't want to mention their names for security reasons. This remittance, these externally generated incomes, that is how South African government are able, that is how they are able to subsidize some of these healthcares in South Africa. Some of this benefit that you get. Do you think that the South African government sell their gold, sell diamonds, sell mineral resources, and they start bringing the money to you to give you for grant or pay for your hospital bills? Are you kidding me? They can only do this from an externally generated revenues. Just 2 among 120 plus companies in Nigeria owned by South Africans. So remember, the South African law says that if as a South African company, as a South African, you have a company in another country and there is no headquarter or office operating in South African soil, you will pay 28% in tax back to the South African government. But if you are operating in South Africa and you decide to open a subsidiary in any other country, you will pay 10% in tax remittance back to the South African government. These companies that I speak about, one is subsidiary and one fully operates in Nigeria. Just imagine if you push Nigerians to the wall. Remember, Nigeria is a country of 237 million people. Just imagine if you make them angry. Just imagine that. You think you will receive this free healthcare that you are chasing these women away from. You will think that the grant you get from government, that you will never see it again. It will never happen again. Because what you guys do not know is just bigger than you. South Africans are very good people. I understand their frustration. I know how they feel. I understand it. But we must not take laws into our hands. because we will end up digging a hole that will swallow the continent. We are already a vulnerable continent. No country in Africa can stand alone. None. No country can stand alone in Africa. We are a troubled continent. No country in Africa can stand alone. No country in Africa can stand alone. That is why, to this day, Africa still do not have a permanent seat in the United Nations, because we have refused to speak one language. We have refused to unite and decide what we want. Let's not do this to our continent, South Africa. I understand that you guys are angry. You guys are angry. But I'll also ask you one question. If you are angry, are you hungry? Is your government not doing what they can? Are they not doing what they can within their resources, within their means? Why are you preaching hate? Why are you doing this? These xenophobic attacks that happened in 2008, it almost destroyed everything. You see those people that were killed in 2008, most of them have parents. They all have families that love them. But they were killed in your street. And it almost ignites this problem I'm talking about. Africa, we must be warned. We must be warned. South Africa, please do better. This thing you are doing, you are feeling like a king, feeling like a queen, that you can chase women away from the hospitals. You can chase men, vulnerable people, away from your hospitals. Not that this is affecting you. Not that their presence in the hospitals are affecting you from getting your own treatment. It is not. But it's just the hate, the anger that you refuse to control. You must control it, South Africans. I have nothing against you, South Africans, beside this. I have nothing against you. I've met South Africans. As a matter of fact, in one of my trip to a conference somewhere in the world outside of Africa, I slept in the same hotel room with a South African, and one of them is Namibian. We spent several days there. We had good conversations about everything about Africa. I know how the learned ones think, I know. But please, you must spread information across South Africa. Let people know. Let people know the truth about some things. Everything should not be classified information. Let some information out to the public. Let the public understand how government functions, how things work. Do you all know that South African government have to reach some agreement? They have to reach some compromises with several governments just to have their companies in those countries. And you may not know what those agreements are. So you want them to change it. How can they change it when they are the one benefiting more from those agreements? Let's not destroy this continent. Let's not divide it. Let's not divide it. Remember, these companies that I speak about, 95% of them are owned by white South Africans. Remember this, 95% of these companies outside of South Africa, in and out of South Africa, are owned by white South Africans. South Africans, let's do better. Let's do better. Thank you all for watching. This is Course Narrative. Please subscribe to my channel. And of course, enable your notification button so that you will be the first person to be notified whenever I upload a video. Thank you, and God bless.